Hi there, this is Lance King coming to you from Whangaroa in New Zealand. Today I want to talk about mental strength. The last clip I made, I talked about connection, family connection, and how important family connection is for the well-being of your children and the strength of your family. And today, I guess, digital connection is equally, if not more important to young people. But I'm not quite sure that digital connection is as beneficial as family connection. If you look at the development, in 2007 the first iPhone was released. By 2009 we had the like button, we had sharing, we had retweeting, we had face tagging, we had able to like other people's comments by 2009. And if you look at the statistics on mental health for young people, teenagers especially, prior to 2009, mental health was certainly deteriorating, but after 2009, the slope of the graph increases dramatically, and the decay of mental health in our teenagers increases dramatically. It's not that social media and digital communication created mental health problems, but they certainly exacerbated those problems. And of course, since then, we've had the COVID years. We have a whole cohort of students going through school now. The teachers I've been working with teachers the last couple of years, and they're all reporting that this particular cohort also suffers from an inability to communicate and collaborate and work together with others, a lack of empathy and appreciation for other people's points of view, and a difficulty in learning effectively simply because they got used to doing it all by themselves. So what can parents do to help their children develop mental strength? Well, I'm going to use the model of professional sports training used by the All Blacks, which is New Zealand's famous rugby team, now third in the world, but still their record over the last 20 years is the best winning record of any professional team in any sport. And so there's something about them that enables them to achieve that record. And I think a lot of it has to do with a man named Gilbert Enoka, who is the All Blacks mental strength coach. And he has recently written a lot of his work down, and he's got 3 principles that I think apply just as well to young people trying to develop mental strength as they do to professional rugby teams. And principle number 1 is to stay in the moment. And this means focusing on now, on what is happening right now, not what is happening on the other end of your phone or with someone far away, what is happening within your environment right this second. And young people seem to have lost that connection somewhat. So I'm suggesting that parents can help them to develop that ability to zoom in on now, that ability to focus, that ability to concentrate. And one way as parents we can help them with that is to engage them with activities that require serious concentration. Things like, simple things like playing chess, playing Go, even reading. And certainly there are lots and lots of mindfulness exercises that children can learn, which will enable them to zoom in, enable them to stay present, enable them to stay in the moment that's happening right now, not the moment that's past or the moment that's still to come. This present moment is the most important moment to focus on for mental strength. The second principle is to avoid judgment. Now, in a sporting context, this is about not comparing yourself with the player next to you, not thinking to yourself that you're better than that person or worse than that person. But today, that of course relates directly to social media and the toxic comparisons that get made between people on social media. And what we can do to help our children utilize social media to actually gain mental strength is to help them to focus more on character than reputation. Because of course your character is who you really are, whereas your reputation is purely something that other people think you are. And of the two, character is so much more important. And the other thing as parents we can do is to make sure that our children spend as much time offline as they do online. You know, do you ever have digital free days, screen free days? I mean, for some people, even an hour without their phone is a real difficult thing to achieve. But I think it's very beneficial for developing mental strength. And the third principle is to control what you can control. Now, in terms of mental health, of course, mental health is all about what goes on inside your head. So are you able to control what goes on inside your head? That's the critical question. And I think absolutely you can. But we have this kind of problem that comes through our language where, you know, we all recognize that we have a voice inside our heads, that we talk to ourselves. And sometimes that talk is quite negative, and sometimes it leads us off down tracks we don't want to go on. But I think one of the problems is in language, because of course you can't really talk to yourself. All you can do is talk, isn't it? You can talk out loud, or you can talk inside your head. But you can't be both the speaker and the listener. And you don't need to be, because the speaking contains the essence of listening. And so inside your head, when you are talking, you're not talking to yourself, you're just talking. And sometimes that talk is positive, and sometimes that talk is negative. But I think the fundamental thing to realize is that it isn't one part of you talking to another part of you. There are no parts of you. There is only just you. You are only one being, not two. And once you understand that, then you can realize that sometimes you're talking to yourself negatively and sometimes you're talking to yourself positively. But it's just you talking. So because it's you talking, of course you can control that. And I've got a simple strategy that you can teach to your children to enable them to start to manage that internal dialogue, that voice inside their head, which of course is just them. So this is a 3-step strategy. Step 1 is noticing. Help your children to notice what they say inside their head. Notice how they talk inside their head. And notice that sometimes that talk is positive and sometimes that talk is negative. The second thing is, when they are noticing that their internal dialogue is negative, what they need to learn how to do is to interrupt it. How to say inside their head, to say to themselves, to say stop. And I always like to visualize as well. Help them to create a little visual image that they can use to interrupt that negative self-talk. I use the roading sign, the man holding the lollipop which has got a stop on it, or maybe you could use a traffic light or a stop sign on the road. Have them visualize that stop, and then have them learn how to replace the language that they're using, how to interrupt it and replace it. And the thing to focus on in replacement language is teach them to say things to themselves like, I can handle this, I can do this, I can manage this, and maybe even make it specific to the moment. I can handle this today, I can get through this today, I can manage this today, I'm stronger than this today, I'm good with this today, I can be strong today, I can be in charge of myself today, I can do this. That kind of language is self-strengthening and helps build resilience and helps build mental strength. I'll talk more about this in future clips, but to begin with, focus on that internal language and help your children take control of it. Thank you. Goodbye.